then we have Reverend Dr. Roger Gakwat from India, as well as Stephen Sulaiman from Jakarta, Indonesia, and Reverend Irma from Philippines, the National Council of Churches of Philippines. So we're very excited for what they're going to share with us. And so I'm going to let the interpreters... oh, you don't have a mic?
所以大家好，我们这次非常荣幸请到了亚洲不同地区的神职人员来为我们分享他们在自己地区的现状以及他们服事的一些心得。那么等一下他们在分享的时候，我们也会做一个详细的自我介绍。
So we're going to invite Reverend Dr. Roger Gakwat from the National Council of Churches of India to share a little bit about the journey that they've been on in India over the years and how they've moved towards being so progressive in their approach towards LGBT and sexual minorities. So, Reverend Roger.
好，所以我们第一位邀请的是来自印度国家教会理事会的。来我们分享他在印度所经历的一些心得以及经历。
Friends, in our Indian style, I say Namaste. Greetings to you. We are focusing on the theme, engaging churches in India to be inclusive, the NCCI Isha experience.
所以这次分享的主题是我们从印度的角度来看，从事建立具包容性教会的工作。
I'll start with a quote. History owes an apology to the members of this community and their families for the ignominy and ostracism that they have suffered through the centuries. The members of this community were compelled to live a life full of fear of reprisal and persecution.
请允许我以一句话来开始我的分享。针对这个社群在这几个世纪所经历的耻辱和排斥，历史欠他们一个道歉。这个社群被迫活在报复和迫害的恐惧之中。
With these words, Justice Indu Malhotra, one of the judges of the Indian Supreme Court, held that Section 377 of the Penal Code, which criminalizes consensual sexual acts between adults of the same sex, was unconstitutional.
所以建立在之前的那句话上，一位印度高等法庭的法官就提出，刑法中的第377条是违反宪法的。那么377所说的就是同性的成年人在双方都同意的情况下发生性关系是违法的。
In a historic judgment, the Supreme Court on 6 September 2018 said that consensual adult gay sex is not a crime.
在今年9月6号是一个历史性的时刻。那么，印度高等法庭宣布同性性行为不是犯法的。
As the Supreme Court of India has finally put an end to the criminalization of homosexuality under Section 377 in India, data from opinion polls indicates that societal acceptance might still be some way off.
虽然高等法庭终于停止以377将同性恋当成犯人，但是数据指出，民间的接受指数还是相对较低的。
However, between 1990 and 2014, the share of Indian respondents in the World Value Survey who believed homosexuality is never justifiable fell from 89% to 24%, from an overwhelming majority to a clear minority.
然而，在1990年到2014年的问卷调查显示，相信同性恋永远不合理的人数从89%降到了24%，所以这些人从社会的主流逐渐变成了少数。
While the majority remains opposed to same-sex relationships, Indian views on homosexuality have become less rigid over time.
虽然还是有很多人反对同性关系。但是印度人基本上对同性恋已经逐渐开放，没有以前那么死板了。
Now, regarding transgender persons, a study conducted on the human rights of transgenders by one of the states in India, Kerala Development Society, on behalf of the National Human Rights Commission, says only 2% transgender persons stay with their parents.
那么关于跨性别方面的一些情况呢，就是有一个针对跨性别人权的一项调查中显示，只有2%的跨性别人士是与父母同住的。
About 92% are denied their right to participate in any form of economic activity. Even the educated ones are denied jobs, leaving them with no option but to opt for either sex work or beg on the streets. According to the 2011 census, India had 4.8 lakh transgender persons.
还有92%的跨性别人士被限制，并拒绝参加任何经济上的活动，甚至有很多受过教育的人因为性别认同而被很多工作拒绝，迫使他们只好从事性工作或在路边乞讨为生。那么根据2011年的人口普查，在印度其实是有48万跨性别人士。
Introducing our NCCI program. It's called Isha. NCCI's prophetic engagement with social issues on homosexuality started from 2001 and the HIV epidemic from 2003. Key milestones in human sexuality were an epistle on human sexuality to the churches. This was in 2003. Then a theological roundtable on human sexuality, 2009. And an ecumenical document on human sexuality, 2010.
好，印度国家教会理事会的一个启示性的项目，就是 Isha。然后在2001年，他们关于性别认同及性倾向的一个项目，以及03年关于 HIV 的情况，09年是关于性别人权的一个神学圆桌会议，以及2010年发行了关于性别人权的联合公文。
Here is that document, an ecumenical document on human sexuality, and my colleague here, Reverend Christopher Rajkumar, was instrumental in bringing it out.
就是那本联合公文。
I will skip this slide, I'll move on. In 2012, a Bible study book was published by NCCI, and that was called Public and Sensual, Exploring Solutions, Bible Studies on Human Sexuality, and the editor is my colleague here, Reverend Christopher Rajkumar. So this is that book.
对，所以在2012年，印度国家教会理事会发表了一本查经书，就是公众与感性探索理解方案人类性行为的圣经研究，然后它的编辑也是在场。
Among our latest publications, there is this book called A Theological Reader on Human Sexuality and Gender Diversities, Envisioning Inclusivity. It is this thick book.
所以这就是最新发表的作品，是对包容性的一些展望，是一本非常厚的书。
We also did a book for the churches Christian responses to issues on human sexuality and gender diversity, a guide to the churches in India.
这是一本基督徒对性别与性倾向认同的一个回应。
Our engagement with churches, you can see pictures here. We are conducting an awareness program on sexual and gender diversity with the Salvation Army.
对，接下来是与一些其他组织的一些合作。那么我们可以看到一些照片，其中就包括了救世军。
This is with another church, the Church of South India. This is a uniting church consisting of Presbyterians, Anglicans, Methodists, Presbyterians, and Baptist Congregationalists.
这是一个和南印度一个联合教会不同教派的一个合作。
Now this is with the Kerala Council of Churches in South India, Southwest India in a sense. Kerala Council of Churches, so many churches from the Syrian Orthodox tradition, all within this.
对，这是与很多印度西南部的一些传统教会的一个合作。
Then we have with the Church of North India. So again, here is another picture.
当然还有北印度。
Then this is with the Arcot Lutheran Church. Now this is in Southeast India.
这个是东南部的一个教会。
And then not only churches, but also theological colleges. Now here we are engaging with a Baptist theological college in Northeast India.
对，这是一个神学院。
Then the Methodists. This is Leonard Theological College, Jabalpur in Central India. Then with the Presbyterians, John Roberts Theological Seminary, Shillong, again in Northeast India. Now comes our wider ecumenical network, and you can see some faces which may be familiar to you, but this was an international consultation in Bengaluru in February 2017. Now, we are planning to engage, this is our theological university, the Senate of Serampur College, to engage the Senate of Serampur College in introducing courses on human sexuality and gender diversity at a more in-depth level. We already have a course at the graduate theological degree level, but we want to introduce it at the postgraduate and at the doctoral level, as well as training faculty of theological colleges for the same.
所以现在他们正在参与神学院的一些对话，向他们更深入的介绍关于性别多样性的课程，就包括了硕士以及更高的学位。
At the same time, Isha is planning to bring out a module for churches for practically addressing concerns of human sexuality and gender diversity.
同时，他们也计划为教会们推出一个课程，让他们知道如何处理性别与性倾向的一些问题。
Towards just and inclusive communities. That's the guiding motto of the National Council of Churches in India.
对，所以这就是印度国家教会理事会的座右铭：走向公益和包容的社群。谢谢。
Thank you.
Isn't that a very exciting update from India? I don't know about you. I don't know how much you know about what has been going on in India, but I hope that was a really great summary of that progress, of how far the Indian churches have come, and all the hard work you know, that this National Council of Churches in India and many people have been involved in over the years.
对，所以我们真的很荣幸可以听到关于印度基督教以及同志运动的一些分享。不管你在之前了解了多少，我觉得这都会是给我们大家一个非常好的一个受教育的一个机会。
And now from India, we're going to fly over to Korea, and we're going to invite Reverend Bora Lim to share from her experience. And Reverend Bora Lim, let me introduce you a little bit. She's a senior pastor of Sungdo Presbyterian Church. She's a member of Justice and Peace Committee in the National Council of Churches Korea, a member of Rainbow Jesus, a gathering of LGBTQII Christians and allies. And she's a straight ally. But she's been doing tremendous work in Korea in the face of great opposition. So we are very excited to hear from her.
对所以下面我们欢迎韩国的牧师，他虽然是一名职人朋友，但是非常支持我们基督徒以及同志运动，所以我们现在非常期待他的分享。
안녕하세요. 저는 임보라입니다. My name is Bora Lim and from South Korea, and I'm a senior pastor of Sungdo Presbyterian Church. It belongs to Presbyterian churches in the Republic of Korea. It was really good to see you, and I'm very exciting. Thank you for having me here. So I'd like to share about what's going on in South Korea.
那今天
Yes, sorry.
今天我想要带来分享的主题是关于在南韩现在 LGBT 的选口。
Recently, the Korean government has received strong criticism from CEDAW, you know the CEDAW, the UN body, especially pursuing that there is an intention to establish the enactment of anti-discrimination law in the 10th year standing state. In particular, Korean fundamental churches are major obstacles to the establishment of anti-discrimination law against sexual orientation and gender identities, provision on gender identity.
那最近韩国政府受到来自消除对妇女歧视委员会的强烈批评。那特别提到至今反歧视法的制定，这10年来一直都处于就是还没有制定的状态。特别是韩国基本教义派教会是制定反性别歧视法，来防止性别取向和性别认同歧视的主要障碍。
I think many of you know Korea Peninsula is facing peace mood with North Korea. But on the other hand, we are fighting against all kinds of hatred.
我知道你们中有许多人都知道朝鲜半岛，就是在韩国有很多都是就是看起来是和平的，但另一方面其实又有很多各种的仇恨。
For example, refugees from Yemen and migrant workers from all around in Asia, feminists, and especially LGBT+ are in very danger in Korea right now.
像是这边是说是他们有一种也门的难民、移民工人，还有女权主义者和 LGBT 族群，其实都处在危险之中。
The main detestation is the fundamental Christianity group. But despite of this kind of situation, the queer cultural festivals are spreading nationwide, and 2 local festivals are starting this year again. So now we have over 7 festivals in Korea right now. You see the what poster? This is mainly Seoul queer cultural festivals.
酷儿文化节的一个活动的海报。
This one is Daegu Queer Cultural Festivals, and we also have Jeju and Busan.
是尽管有这种情况，就是酷儿文化节，就大家看到上面的这些海报，正在全国范围内传播。那今年有2个地方都有这个节日的开始，所以现在我们有超过7个节日。
Yes, there's so many in China and Guangzhou. This one is the latest one. Okay. So, in addition to the people are preparing to another new festivals next year, so I think we are going to have more than 10 local queer cultural festivals in Korea.
所以现在韩国 LGBT 和人权运动也逐渐的都开始，然后有超过10个像这样的活动。
Would you like to watch some short clips for a while? Can I make it click?
我们先看一下这个影片。
This clip's from Incheon Queer Cultural Festival in last September.
这是去年9月的一个活动现场。
We couldn't start our parade for 5 hours because of the anti-homosexual Christian groups jumped up all those trucks in the place of our festivals.
他们在5个城市举办像这样的活动，可是其实是有被反对的，就是在进行当中也一直有反对的人会到现场去阻止他们。
Finally, we did the parade under the protection of police. But the situation is always happening in everywhere when we do and try to do the parade in local queer culture festivals. Let's move on. The major hate promoting forces in Korean society are fundamental, Christian groups, and the right-wing politicians. They have mutual relationship with each other, and they are spreading fake news through SNS, especially, I don't know how many of you know Kakao Talk. It's a very famous SNS in Korea. They spread all the fake news through Kakao Talk because it's free.
Kakao Talk 就是韩国一个免费的，也有点像 LINE 的一个平台。然后他们是就是在性取向跟性别认同的问题上面，他们其实有发表欢迎的声明，然后也广泛的在教会和他们的社区中为正义和包容而努力，虽然数量还不是很多。
So recently, a Korean prime minister announced a sweeping crackdown on fake news and calling it a destroyer of democracy. So according to one of the daily news in Korea, the fake news factory it's a Korean one, but Esther Prayer Movement. They call their English name as Jesus Army. Which represents Christianity under right fundamentals and has received budget from the National Intelligence Service. You know how right-wing fundamental Christianity and right-wing politicians, they have connections to each other.
就是他们在韩国有 教正在增加。那彩虹耶稣是一个 LGBT 和基督徒和盟友的聚会，然后从2016年开始，就每年都会有像大家看海报那 Cool Parade， 并在这是游行，然后在节日举办他们的圣餐礼，然后他们在彩虹教会进行宣传和推广，然后组织酷儿神学院。
And this is the big demonstrations from the anti-homosexual Christian groups. They say yes to male and female equality, but no to gender. That's what the phrase, what they have it. You know what it means. They don't want to include all kinds of diversity in society. Anyway, the big problem has come from old denomination in Korean churches. I think many of you know Presbyterian Church in Korea, we usually call PCK. Yeah. Last September, they had a General Assembly, and they made a big decisions. One of the decision was Reverend Pauline of PROK is a heresy because she participated in a project of queer Bible commentary translation, and she also doing communion at the queer cultural festivals, and she's stand in the LGBT rights, so she promote anti-discrimination law and also marriage, same-sex marriage. That's why they put her, me, as a heresy. But actually, not only PCK, I got 3 heresy decisions from last year from other Presbyterian, very fundamental Presbyterian churches, and at 2 another decision in this year.
Yeah. Okay. No? No? Okay.
So, in this situation, what can we do, and what should we do, and what we have to do? Rainbow Jesus, I'm a member of the Rainbow Jesus. It's a very small group for LGBT plus Christians and allies in Korea. But we start to searching for rainbow churches from last year, Idaho Day, because we want safe space in Christianity. And we believe that churches have to be a safe space for everyone. So that's why we're searching for a rainbow churches. But we don't have not many yet. But we invite churches to be rainbow churches, and also we are managing and open for the Queer Theological Academy, like you. And yes, we're trying to do education because many of Korean Christians have a bias on homosexuality and also LGBT plus community.
大家可以看图片，那是彩虹的，就是他们彩虹教会，然后他们其实是很欢迎大家可以参加。那虽然现在的人数还没有很多。
Let's move to the last part.
彩虹教会在就是很欢迎每一个人，
Yes.
是可以一起参加。
I think everyone knows what the safe space means.
就希望可以让这个地方有更多的空间或更大的包容性。
Some church say we welcome LGBT plus people because this is a church. We welcome you, but that's all. You can come and you can participate in Sunday worship. You can come to the Bible study. But I'm confusing because I'm still thinking about that homosexuality is a sin. That's what the Bible says. But we need to move to the affirming churches. Affirming churches like this. You and your partners are welcome here and
从
be
欢迎到接受，然后你们都可以来一起敬拜，然后甚至到对这样的教会的认可。可是牧师大家说，他其实还是有些怀疑，说同性恋到底是不是罪？
所以其实在教会其实是一个经历很多教会是从反同到欢迎到接受，然后最后到认可。那么很多就是只是说自己是欢迎同志的教会，他们经常就只是说哦，你可以来跟我们一起敬拜，你可以跟我们一起祷告，但是他们其实内心还是比较反同的，觉得这还是一个罪。那我们其实最终目标是希望教会可以到真正的认可，我们去庆祝每一个人的认同。
and you will see what gifts do you bring to serve God and our church. This is the main key, I guess. In conclusion, speed of change in a society is very slow, especially realizing the importance of LGBT rights and gender equality. But churches are slower than the society. We all know the paradigm needs to be changed. Then we need to check our motivation. What is your and your community's expectation?
是转变，就是这样的转化，其实是很慢的一个速度。但是我们会希望可以知道，我们在我们的社区有多少的可能性，对，跟大家对 LGBT 族群是期望在这当中能够有怎么样的一个发展。
What do you want to share with your church communities?
你对你在你社区的期望会是什么呢？
What kind of education program can you provide to the church in your community?
就你希望你在你的你们的社区，希望可以是有怎么样的分享，然后可以带给社区会众，可以教导大家些什么。
And what about Bible interpretation? What is helpful to open your eyes?
圣经中会是怎么样的一个诠释？那怎么样子去帮助我们可以更了解经文的内容？
And where can we start our conversation? Is that a safe space? It means your church is a safe space to you and your friends?
就在教会里面的聚会，跟朋友之间互相的连接，其实是非常的，大家的分享是非常非常的重要的。
I really love to be here in AMPLIFY 18
我
because
真的很开心参加这一次的 AMPLIFY 会议、激昂会议，
we can exchange our expectations from our communities and also our own experience and faith in theology. So I hope we can develop our dialogue, and also we can make some common symbols.
我真的很开心可以参加这样的敬仰会议，我们可以在当中分享各自来自不同国家的经验，我们各自的信仰，那甚至在如何去建造一个对 LGBT 族群更友善的一个空间，那甚至可以去有一些像是徽章啊，或者是手环啊、披肩这样子代表我们的一个符号，或者是一个物品。
And also we can make LGBT plus Asian and Pacific Sunday. We can sharing common prayers. What else would you dream of? The dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
最后，你的梦想会是什么呢？你所渴望的就会成真，那你的梦想就会成真。谢谢。
Just want to really thank Reverend Bora for sharing. But more than that, if you've heard her sharing carefully, I want to thank her for her courage.
Yeah.
For her, a single person standing against a church that is trying her for heresy, because she's standing for what is right and what is just and what is loving. That is courage.
我们非常感谢牧师的分享尤其是从他的分享中，我们其实可以看到非常巨大的勇气。那么他一个人在对抗整个社会、整个韩国基督教对同志的一些反对的声音。那么他很有勇气的一个人去面对所有的攻击，这代表他内心中很强大的一些正义感，以及为我们所做的很大的付出以及牺牲，所以非常感谢他的勇气。
We stand with you.
所以我们也要为他喊话，就是我们跟你站在一起。
Go fellowship with her, go encourage her, go affirm her for all the work that she's doing. Okay.
所以我们也是要鼓励他，继续为他加油打气。
And now we're going to fly over to Indonesia.
好，接下来我们会飞到印尼雅加达。
And we have Stephen Sulaiman, our good friend from Jakarta Theological Seminary. He has been really reforming education. Theological education in Indonesia, and we are so excited to have him here to share. Stephen's also an ordained pastor of the Indonesian Christian Church, which is Presbyterian by nature. And so, Stephen, please share with us. Let them introduce you first.
OK， 好，所以Stephen 牧师是雅加达教会的神学院的牧师，然后是长老会背景，然后我们接下来期待他更精彩的分享。
Well, thank you very much for having me here. Yeah, you might have heard a lot about Indonesia recently, about the tsunami, the flood, the earthquake. Yeah, that happened recently. Indonesia is really the land of those natural disasters because we are located on the three faults: the Pacific, the Asia, and I don't know what the other one, Australasia. And that's why we have so many natural disasters there. And this year we are coming to the national election, which will take place next year on April. And so LGBT has been, as usual, used as a campaign to oppose the government, accusing the government is supporting LGBT. And recently they say that LGBT in Indonesia gives birth to LGBT, meaning lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender gives birth to longsor, gempa, banjir, tsunami, meaning landslide, earthquake, flood, and tsunami.
今年对印尼来说是一个多灾多难一年，就是我们连续发生的地震还有海啸，然后于是就有反对者，就是他们利用这些自然的灾难来攻击，就是当权的政府，然后把这些灾难跟就是 LGBT 的团体做一个连接。
Yeah, that is the situation in Indonesia. Now, as you may know also that Indonesia is a majority Muslim country. So, you might have heard that Islam is also very much opposed to LGBT. So, we fight these two front battles with Muslim fundamentalists and Christian fundamentalists.
就是你们应该也知道，就是印尼也是一个回教国家，然后所以 LGBT 族群就是在一个伊斯兰基本教义派跟基督教教义派的夹击之下，就是要很奋力的求生存。
That is the situation of Jakarta Theological Seminary. We are the oldest ecumenical seminary in Indonesia that has been granting a higher degree, undergraduate, bachelor, master, and doctoral degrees. It was founded in 1934 to educate pastor helpers from among the native people in Indonesia.
雅加达神学院是印尼最古老的普世合一教会，然后这是在1934年由荷兰的传教士所创立，然后用来就是培育跟训练本地人成为牧师。
The famous Dutch missiologist Dr. Hendrik Kramer was the founder of our seminary.
就是有一个很有名的荷兰传教士，他就是我们雅加达神学院的创立者。
But in 1945, Indonesia became independent, and so also the seminary. It is now self-supportive, with still some support from our partner churches around the world, and also mainly from the local churches in Indonesia.
1945年后就是印尼独立，然后所以这个雅加达神学院也从荷兰的教会中就是独立出来，然后现在就是他在印尼有就是受到14个印尼教会协会的成员学会所支持。
It is now supported by 14 member churches of around 98 or 100 member churches of the National Council of Churches in Indonesia.
就是他在东南亚其实是一个很激进的神学院。
It is now, Jakarta Theological Seminary has always been known as one of the most progressive seminaries in Indonesia and Southeast Asia.
就是无上所述。
In 1990, one of our professors invited Dr. Dede Utomo. He is known as the founder of Gaya Nusantara in Indonesia, the first LGBT organization, to give a talk about what homosexuality is all about.
在1990，就是雅加达神学院的一个教授邀请了人权组织 Gaya Nusantara 的Oitomo 博士来给我们上一堂演讲，来教导我们什么是同性恋。
At that time, I was in the U.S. and that's why I didn't know that he took that initiative.
那时候，当时我正在芝加哥就读，然后那时候我修了一些关于都市事工的课程。
I was doing a course on urban ministry in a Chicago seminary, and among the programs that we took was an observation of a nightlife ministry in downtown Chicago among street children and the gay community.
在这课程中，我有幸就是跟接触到流浪儿童还有 LGBT 族群的人群。
I was very much impressed by what the pastors were doing in that ministry, and I thought I may be able to do this kind of program if I return to Indonesia.
在当时我遇见了一个就是流浪儿童，然后他开启了我就是接下来的事工。
In 1992, I returned to Indonesia and I was asked to manage the program, the field education program that I had managed before I left for Chicago.
在1992年，当我回到印尼之后，我被邀请就是协助办理实习教育课程，然后我有幸就再一次就是重新组织我在芝加哥大神学院所学的。
In 93, I began to send my students to a gay, bisexual, transgender organization named IPOS. It was a small organization with a simple management. The people there were involved mainly in dance show and dressmaking. Their understanding about what homosexuality was rather limited because they themselves didn't know much about it scientifically.
从1993年开始，我将一些学生送到 IPOS， 就是一个 LGBT 的组织，然后那是一个非常小型、很简单的组织，然后在那边的人群们大多只知道热舞跟制作美丽的衣裳，然后他们对同性恋的认知非常的有限。
My students there learned very little about homosexuality, but at least they were exposed to their lives. And they began to learn that homosexuality was not contagious. That homosexual people were just like any other people. They just happen to have a different life.
我的学生就是也是对同性恋所知甚少，然后不过透过生活中的接触，他们才发现就是同性恋并不会传染。
But still, some of the boys were afraid if they were sent to that organization. They would ask, "What happens if they do something to me?"
不过还是有些男学生们非常害怕被送到那个组织，就是他们还是会害怕他们会被遭遇到一些攻击。
I usually joke, perhaps you are afraid that they won't do anything to you.
然后我跟他们说，他不会对你做任何事情。
In 2001, I went to the Graduate Theological Union in Berkeley and got exposed to the capital city of gay in San Francisco.
在2001年，我前往加州伯克莱神学院就读，然后在那边供奉起一个同志圣地旧金山。
In GTU, I met so many LGBT students and even faculty members. I learned many more things about homosexuality and theology, although I didn't take any class on it because I was working on another issue, namely identity studies, which I think was quite close.
在伯克莱神学院，我 我遇到许多 LGBT 族群的学生，还有学校成员们。虽然我没有修习相关的课程，但我依然学习到许多关于同性恋以及神学的知识。然后我在那时候修的是身份认同研究，然后其实跟同性研究其实也是蛮相近。
Another exposure that we experienced, my family and I, was our attendance of the Montclair Presbyterian Church in Oakland, which had a rainbow flag in front of it.
然后在当时，就是我和我的家人们，就是到蒙克莱的长老教会就是敬拜，然后那是一个非常开放的教会，在门口有挂彩虹旗。
This is the photo of the church. I was very impressed. I said, wow, this is a church, really a church. I think we should have this kind of church. It signifies that the church is open to LGBT people. And in fact, they had several members and even some activists, pastors, helpers who were and are LGBT.
对我来说，这才是一个真正的教会，因为它对所有人都开放。
So when I returned to GTS in 2007, I was once again given the responsibility to handle the field education program, and I began to expand my work among the LGBTIQ organizations.
当2017年我再度回到雅加的神学院的时候，我再次被邀请来组织实习教育课程，然后从那时起我便开始扩展我跟其他LGBT 团体的联络跟往来。
I began to send more students to more organizations like the lesbian, the transgender, and other organizations that are found in other parts of Indonesia.
我开始送更多的学生前往其他的人权组织。
And now, this time, I noticed that there is a difference among the students. Before, my students were afraid if they were sent to those organizations. But this time, they became very enthusiastic. They said, "Sir, please, I want to go to that organization. Please send me there."
然后我发现这一次就是学生们就是跟以往有许大的差别，就是以往他们可能会充满抗拒，可是这一次他们就是充满热忱，想要尽快的被送到其他的组织。
At the seminary, I began to expand my work also to conduct different activities like the peer educators, peer counselors camp, Ida Hub B, World Suicide Prevention Day, Queer Film Festival, international conferences, and also we run monthly support group programs for our LGBTIQ friends to meet and share the experience with our community.
而且我就是也开始跟其他组织有往来，像是同才教育者跟同才职场者，还有国际不再恐同日、世界自杀防治日、酷儿影展，还有一些国际性的会议。然后我也就是开始举办，就是每个月固定的聚会，然后让 LGBTIQ 的朋友们可以在当中相遇，以及分享彼此的经验。
My motivation is mainly how to have my students meet with our LGBT friends, because if you never meet them, you never know what their life is like, and you will never be able to empathize with their life, with their problems.
我的动机是让我的学生们可以和 LGBTIQ 的朋友们相遇，然后因为如果你没有彼此相遇的接触，然后你其实不会认识到他们的生命，也不会知道他们的生命有怎样的困境。
In 2009, some of my students came to me reporting that an LGBT organization was running a program, LGBT Goes to Campus, and was ridiculed by the religious people when they had it in the Catholic University.
在2009年，就是有一些我的学生就是来向我报告说，就是当他们就是组织一个 LGBT 前往校园的活动的时候， 他们被一些就是在天主教大学的宗教人士们所奚落跟排斥。
I was angry and I told them to invite the group to come to our seminary and have it in our seminary.
我非常的愤怒，并且告诉他们说，可以来到我们的神学院，并且和我们一起就是共同筹办这个计划。
They agreed, and it was then my turn to begin to think. What should I say to my colleagues? Okay, I said, December is coming, so let's have the World AIDS Day. That's a cover-up. So the program was run, one session with HIV, and 3 more sessions, what is gay, lesbian, transgender.
原本我很担心要怎么跟我的同灾们解释，后来就是有以那个国际艾滋日为由，所以在2009年12月1号就是举办了一场就是 conference。
But then I learned something. My LGBT friends are not happy with it because they don't want to be associated with HIV/AIDS. Okay, I now learned something. Okay, so we changed. We don't have HIV/AIDS associated with LGBT anymore.
我的 LGBTIQ 朋友们不太开心，因为他们不想就是跟 HIV 有太多的连结，所以我后来就搞懂，就是要把这两个议题拆分开来谈。
In 2010, one of my students came to me and suggested that we had a book launch on a recent book, the Old Project, the Orgasm Project. It's an experience of women in Indonesia with their orgasm.
在2010年，就是我的一位学生向我建议，我们可以来计划写一本书，就是高潮计划。
We had a big turnout. About 100 people came to that program. And my friend, a colleague, asked me, why are you having this kind of program? Don't you realize that this is Advent Sunday? But I said, don't you know that orgasmic experience is very close to God? That's why we always call God, 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 God.
So
Let's see how the translators do with that, okay? Thank you, translators. Wonderful.
就是有些人就是有一些异议，说为什么要就是讨论性高潮这个课题，但是他说就性高潮跟上帝也是很有关系，因为你会说就对，所以就是它是息息相关的。对，我们接下来也会有一些 workshop 会探讨。
Okay, I want to make it shorter because my time is running out. In 2011, the president of the seminary, the student body, approached me and suggested we have an LGBT week. I said, this is crazy. It's getting more and more dangerous. But I said, well, didn't Jesus ask us to take the risk of our faith? So I said, okay, let's go and do it.
2011年就是学生会长就是向我提议说，我们可以举办一个 LGBT 的研讨会。然后当时我觉得这是一个非常疯狂的点子，但再次思考之后，我觉得这就是神给我的一个十字架，所以我就是我们决定就是接下这个挑战，并且勇往直前。
In 2014, we had our first international conference with Reverend Rajkumar helping us with the Indian delegates and the support with the World Council of Churches. And since then, we had all these international conferences and other programs.
2014年我们有了我们的第一场国际研讨会，然后总共有70个参与者，来自11个不同的国家，然后一直举办至今。
And now we run conferences and trainings with our Muslim friends because we realize we cannot change Indonesia by changing the churches alone. We also need to change the Muslim communities. Thank you.
所以我们也要就是跟穆斯林朋友们就是有一些接触，并且改变他们的想法。谢谢。
So we want to thank Stephen for his wonderful work, really, very progressive work in Jakarta Theological Seminary and how that's beginning a wave of educational reform in the country. So we're so excited, to have Stephen here with us.
所以我们感谢Steven 牧师在印尼雅加达的所有的贡献，他就像一波就是推动整个印尼教会以及教育上的一些发展，所以我们非常期待听到他以后继续的分享与更新。
And so now, lastly, we will have Reverend Irma from Philippines. Reverend Irma is the Assistant Program Secretary for the Christian Unity and Ecumenical Relations under the National Council of Churches in the Philippines. So she's going to share a little bit about the situation in the Philippines. And so, Reverend Irma.
好，现在我们就飞到菲律宾来听我们的牧师分享菲律宾一些当地的情况以及经历。谢谢。
Good afternoon. I bring greetings of Shalom from the National Council of Churches in the Philippines. It is indeed a great privilege for me to be here with you, fellow advocates of LGBTQI+, rights, and fellow siblings of LGBT communities all over the country, who took the courage of breaking the walls of discrimination, indifference, condemnation, exclusivism, and injustice from our respective country of origin and in the wider world.
我今天想要分享是在菲律宾，我们教会对 LGBT 的立场，然后还有在整个社群当中，我们就是做了些什么。
I am just to share with you the progress of NCCP's effort over the years around the inclusion of LGBTQI people in the church. The National Council of Churches in the Philippines is the largest aggregation of non-Roman Catholic churches in the Philippines. It has 10 member churches.
这个是 sorry， 这是菲律宾国家教会理事会，然后他们其实是就是非罗马天主教在菲律宾的一个组织，对。
Okay, as I said, it has 10 member churches, and in the National Secretariat, in each program unit, even at the administration and at the finance department, there is a presence of LGBT. It's either a gay or a lesbian staff. This presentation is anchored on the official stance of the NCCP on the inclusion of LGBTQI in the church as formulated by the Faith and Order Committee of the Council, without undermining the independent practices of the 10 member churches. So I'll be presenting here the biblical and theological affirmations confirmed by the Faith and Order Committee, and this was presented during the 2015 General Assembly in an official statement. First,
那我们先来讲，就是在圣经和的神学当中，我们不好意思，就是这边要说的是，就是在官方菲律宾官方的立场对 LGBTIQ， 然后他们有一个信仰与秩序委员会，然后也有他们对圣经和神学提出的论据。那今天我会带大家先来看，在菲律宾各个组织当中的一个对 LGBT 的立场跟看法。
First, we affirm that all persons are created in the image of God. As such, every person is endowed with human dignity and shall not be discriminated against on the account of color, race, nationality, sex, gender identity, status, and religion.
第一点是我们每一个人都是上帝美好的创造，所以我们每个人都有各自的尊严，所以不应该被歧视，不应该被因为颜色、因为种族、国籍或者是不同的性取向而被排斥。
Second, we believe that God's love is unconditional and the gift of God's grace is for all. We affirm that nothing can separate us from the love of God, not even death nor life, much less the issue of sexual orientation and preference.
第二点，我们相信神的爱是无条件的，而且神的恩典是何等的多，他不会因为我们的性取向而将我们跟神的爱分开。
Okay. Third, we affirm that nothing that God has made is unclean, as Peter has learned through the Holy Spirit when he has prepared to meet Cornelius, a Gentile who was considered unclean by the Jewish community.
第三点是没有任何神所创造的是不洁的。
Okay.
Sorry.
Fourth, we affirm that heterosexuals have no monopoly of God's revelation and encompassing love. That God is God of diversity and God continues to create and reveal God's self in various ways and means.
第四点是，即使是异性恋者，也不应该然后垄断上帝他对同性恋者、对 LGBT 族群包容的爱，因为上帝的爱是多元的，并且是以各种不同的形式。
Fifth, we affirm that God's gift includes the gift of many forms of sexuality and various forms of sexual expressions. That the issue is not on homosexuality or sexual orientation, but on sexual injustice, which is a characteristic of heterosexism, not heterosexual relation. Heterosexism is an unjust system that asserts the heteronormativity or heterosexual identity, whereby those who fit this norm have the right to police others to conform to the norm, while those who deviate or are sexually different as deviant and defective.
上帝给我们的是即使我们在性取向上面有不同的形式，可能是异性恋，可能是双性恋，但我们就算受到像沙文主义般的迫害，我们也不会，上帝也不会因为异性恋很普及，然后就去歧视或者是给予不同的权利，就是给 LGBT 族群，让他们要他们一定要改变，或者是把它视为成一种缺陷。
Sixth, we affirm that any form of discrimination, oppression, subjugation, and exploitation is an abomination and not in keeping to the teachings of Christ. We therefore say no to any act, language, relationship with others that are harmful, hurtful, discriminatory, and dehumanizing against all people, including LGBT.
任何的歧视或者是压迫或者是剥削，并不是基督所要教导我们的。
Seventh, we affirm that the body, the church, must be a welcoming place to everyone. That it must provide a safe venue where we can deal with the topic of human sexuality, particularly sexual orientation and gender identity, in creative and responsive ways.
基督的肢体就是教会，应该会是一个安全的场所。所谓的安全，是可以提供给同性恋、异性恋，让这样的一个空间，大家可以大家一起创造出这样的一个空间。
Eighth, we affirm that part of church's responsibility is to help equip members to live responsibly with their faith, not despite their sexualities, but through their sexualities.
甚至教会是有责任不要去帮助那些不同的族群，而不是去否定他们的信仰。
And the last, along with all those biblical and theological affirmations, we also affirm the essential tenet of the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, that human dignity is the building block of human rights and basic respect of human dignity, and human rights is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace. These rights are inalienable, universal, and indivisible. They are inalienable because they cannot be denied to any human being. These rights are universal because they cannot be unaware. These rights are indivisible because social and cultural rights are indivisible from the economic, political, and civil rights.
在世界人权宣言里面，我们是有尊重人性的尊严，然后奠基在自由、公义以及和平上面，所以不应该去歧视就是不同的族群，要去重视他们的权利。
Okay, so next I will present to you the responses of the 10-member churches, because the statement is nothing if it will not transcend or go down to the 10-member churches. It has no effect to the 10-member churches. At least not 10 or 7 or let's see. So first is the United Church of Christ in the Philippines.
那牧师现在要带我们来看是在就是菲律宾当地的教会对性 LGBTQI 这个族群的看法。那第一个，我们先来看的是联合基督教会 UCC United Church of Christ in the Philippines.
So the United Church of Christ in the Philippines was the first church who issued a statement or released a prophetic statement entitled "Let Grace Be Total," acronym LGBT. And through that statement, they affirm that God's grace is for all.
联合基督教会的话，他们算是第一个就是支持，在2013年他们就宣称他们是支持 LGBT 的族群，并且有发表声明，他们是欢迎这样的会众们来聚会。
Okay, thank you. Can I kindly click the next slide, please? The pictures, most of the slides there are pictures. Example of the engagement of UCCP, support initiatives that support
大家可以看一下，这是
the first the church LGBT church somewhere in the western Visayas in the Philippines.
在菲律宾西边。
With I know some of you know about Reverend Jerlo holding its first mass for LGBT.
这是他们第一个 LGBT 教会的弥撒。
The second church is the Convention of Philippine Baptist Churches. We only have 5 minutes. I'll make this faster.
这是
CPBC, a community of faith affirms the dignity of all peoples. CPBC affirms both the universality of sin and God's grace, so that no one is outside of God's redeeming and reconciling love. They are inclusive.
浸信会他们表达的是，就是神的救恩是普及的，所以他的救赎和他的爱是可以包容整个族群的，就是不管他的性别是什么。
Third church is Iglesia Ecumenical Metodista in Las Islas Filipinas.
对，第三个教会是福音寻道会。下一张。
The church is welcoming and a reconciling community.
这也是一个支持就 LGBT 族群的教会。
However, for them, this does not mean, however, an approval of homosexual practices.
可是他们是根据他们有一些对圣经上面的诠释，会让他们是反对同性婚姻的，即使他们是支持，是欢迎你们可以去聚会这样。
They oppose same-sex marriage. Fourth is Iglesia Filipina Independiente. They believe that the church must openly embrace people of all sexes, sexual orientation, gender identities, and expression.
这样是菲律宾一个独立的教会，然后他们也是抱持一个支持的态度，因为他们对 LGBT 的族群，他们其实是他们是客观看待，并且认可，也接受，就是已经有接受同志的牧师在当中牧会。
At present, IFI already accepts LGBT priests. Fifth, Episcopal Church in the Philippines, a welcoming church but has no official statement yet. No official stand yet.
那接下来这个是圣公会，那圣公会的话，他们也是欢迎就是同志的基督徒去聚会。
Sixth, the Salvation Army, it has no definite statement on this yet. So far in the Philippines, the Salvation Army in the Philippines.
Salvation Army 就是救世军，对，然后他们也是很愿意，就是虽然很愿意参加他们的聚会。
Okay, but they already developed tools to conduct discussions on these issues of LGBT. Seventh, we have Apostolic Catholic Church.
第7个我们要讨论的是中途天主教会。
They continue to have policies that respect only the sex assigned at birth of people.
他们是比较保守的，他们想要保持原本的性别的认同，然后所以也是有比较性别刻板的印象。
Next is Iglesia Unida Ecumenical.
再下一个是统一普世教会。
No official statement yet, but there are individual pastors and lay people who practice inclusivity in the respective local churches.
他们没有明确的教会没有明确的立场，但是在当中聚会的会就是有部分都有自己对 LGBT 族群的支持。
Ninth is the United Methodist Church. Though the church leaders of the United Methodist Church in the Philippines have called on its clergy and lay members to start discussing the issue of human sexuality, including LGBT, but the College of Bishops of the UMC in the Philippines reminded their flock to openly discuss this issue with caution because it can be divisive.
接下来是联合卫理公会，那他们有一个主教学院，他们也是开放，就是可以去聚会，可是他们因为怕会造成分裂，所以他们对这样的一个族群是抱持比较小心的态度。
And having a global character, UMC has no official stand yet. And the last one is Lutheran Church in the Philippines, no statement yet, and they did not attend in the 3 series of consultations that we have conducted.
最后一个是信义宗，那他们没有特别表態他们的立場。
Maybe you can just kindly click some of the slides there for the engagement, the pictures on the activities of the NCCP, on human sexuality, on HIV/AIDS. Next slide, please. And our HIV testing. We are spearheaded by our General Secretary. We encourage all the staff and the pastors and the priests to undergo the HIV testing. And we joined the Pride, the campaign of Jennifer Laude. And we joined the Pride March. We have the delegation from the NCCP. Next slide, please. Before I go to the conclusion, the challenge.
这都是他们一些事工的照片。
For the conclusion and the challenge, this current development among the NCCP member churches in terms of its engagement on LGBT issues and concerns poses a great challenge to create safe spaces and dialogues among clergy and lay people, to build bridges, to celebrate together the inclusive and encompassing love of God, without others being pushed at the margins of unacceptance and condemnation.
这边提到是我们现在面临的一个挑战，就是我们怎么样去创造一个就是更友善的一个空间，然后让神职人员跟就是大家可以彼此交流，然后可以一起庆祝在当中有神包容的爱，并且不会被边缘化，不会被谴责。
As LGBTQI is present in each and every sector, in every country and in the world, from the working masses, the peasantry, the middle class, most of us here are from the middle class, indigenous peoples, and wearing this as a symbol of the indigenous peoples in the Philippines. Students and academicians, small entrepreneurs, overseas and contractual workers, oppression based on sexual orientation and gender identity is not solely rooted on the traditions and theological teachings of the church, but also is a product of broader social inequalities that afflict all citizens. Homophobia and discrimination are part of the historical problems based on unjust economic and social relations. Therefore, to advance social emancipation of the LGBTQI is not only an agenda of the church people who are theologically trained from prestigious theological seminaries or from those who are highly esteemed academicians, but rather, we need also to hear the voices of the unheard LGBTQI+, who are from the lower strata in our society, who cannot afford to join activities like this, a forum like this, who are from or outside and inside our respective churches. Through this, our struggle for gender equality based on social justice and freedom of all people from discrimination and class oppression will be made complete. In Galatians chapter 3, verse 28, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor there is male and female, for we are all one in Christ. Let us be shout. We have this book, a collation of the sharing during the consultation, as we shout for justice, for equality, for LGBTQI plus rights in the Philippines. We also shout for this. And we ask you to pause for a while. In the past few days, 9 farmers were killed in Western Visayas. Parents, mothers, who also have brothers and sisters who belong to LGBTQI. Indigenous peoples, and we have friends and we know many of them openly declare that they are gays and lesbians. But they were killed. That as we shout for our rights, we also shout, stop killing farmers, because we are all interrelated and we are all interconnected. Even if we can say that we're free, if the people in the peripheral part of our society are still under oppressive system, we cannot truly be free. Thank you.
就是有9个农民，他们是属于就是原住民，就是被杀害。那也甚至是说，在 LGBT 族群，他们是位于就是社会比较底层，我们必须去听到他们的声音，因为不分犹太人、希利尼人，就是自主的，或者是不分族群，其实我们在耶稣基督里面都是合一的了。那 LGBT 族群在世界各地都有不同的 同的分布，但我们必须要继续对抗社会不公平影响着我们，甚至歧视我们，甚至在这当中对我们的迫害。那我们也要持续在我们的理念上面，甚至是神学上面去说出对 LGBT 族群其实也是神所爱的。谢谢。
Truly, we are not free until all is free. That's it. Yeah. So we're just not here for one topic and one issue only. There's so much more in God's heart. Hasn't it been amazing? You know, as we take this tour around the world and hearing what God is doing in different parts of the world, I think for those of us who think, oh, things will never change in my country, things will never change in this community, here's the witness. Here is the testimony. Together, all right, and to draw the circle wider wherever we may be.
在听过每个人的分享之后，我们发现，就是我们在每个人自由之前，我们都不能说自己是自由的。而这个社会除了我们所在意的同志议题之外，还有那么多非常急迫大家要关注的议题需要我们去讨论。然后，如果你是觉得其实不管我做什么，社会都不会改变的话，那这里就是一个最好的见证。我们看到每个人都在为自己的信念而努力着，而这就是我们的激昂会议最精彩的一个部分。
We are supposed to have a Q&A session right now, but due to the tightness of time, I've been told by the organizers that we can't have the Q&A session right now. But what I encourage you to do is that after the end of the session, we're going to have some time for dinner and fellowship. And if you have any questions, if you would just want to come and talk to any of our panelists, please come and talk with them, dialogue with them, encourage them, and ask them questions. Okay? So thank you so much for your attention and for your engagement this afternoon.
对，所以因为时间紧迫，我们本来的问答环节我们就先取消。那么大家千万不要担心，因为等一下晚餐时间还是可以跟我们的各位牧师们做一个近距离的交流。所以谢谢大家聆听。
谢谢 Pauline， 还有谢谢我们的牧师。Thank you very much for all the pastor for sharing and taking a great tour around Asia and beyond. I think it's the first time we have got pastor coming in from India. So great welcome to our friends. We have a lot of work to do. Okay, so let's just put it up. 所以现在我们的今天的晚餐是吃的便当，是在2B 外面，我们从5点半开始供应到晚上大概是6点半，然后今天晚上是7点钟开始我们的晚上的聚会。So we'll do dinner we serve is a bento like sort of like a lunchbox set. With different kind of meat. I know some of you have specified you don't like beef or fish or chicken, whatever. So please do check out the sign. They'll be served outside to be from 5:30 until around 6:30, and we will start our evening service down at 2B at 7 o'clock. Thank you very much. And all the presentation today will be uploaded to a share file. Then you will see the URL, and if you have already subscribed to the Line chat group, the URL will also be sent to you. 今天我们所有的就是他们分享的那个 PPT， 我们都会放在我们一个共享的档案上面。等一下，如果你已经加入我们 Line 的群组，是可以从哪边去下载的。如果你没有的话，我们等一下有在下面张贴那个 URL 的网址出来。